Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Grace Holland. On Tuesday, federal prosecutors laid out their case against 16 members of the motorcycle gang Hells Angels.
The 8-count indictment charges the 16 for their roles in a violent racketeering enterprise.
The indictments allege a rivalry between gangs turned deadly. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan was the only reporter in the courtroom Tuesday as one of the suspects appeared in court. She joins me by phone.
Good afternoon.
Hey, thanks for being here. So, walk me through what started this investigation into Hells Angels.
Yeah, so the impetus of this investigation started last New Year's Day in Raleigh, where in a really quiet, unassuming neighborhood off Bayberry Lane, a man named Jonas Padilla was murdered. Come to find out, Padilla was part of the motorcycle club, the Pagan Motorcycle Club, which is a very known rival with the Hells Angels gang. And after his death, 5 men were charged in his murder. And come to find out that they were all members of the rival gang, the Hells Angels or Red Devils Motorcycle Club.
Knowing all of that, who are the 16 people charged and what kind of charges do they face? I'm sure it's hard to go person by person, but what do they all have in common?
Yeah, so all 16 members are part of the Hells Angels Club, or the higher club, you could call them the Red Devils, and they are members that span from Raleigh to Fayetteville. And we understand that this is part of an investigation that stemmed from a violent racketeering enterprise. So these men, at least 5 of them, face charges of murder in the case of Jonas Padilla in Raleigh. Others face, racketeering charges, assault, attempted murder. Many of those were also charged with nearly killing another Pagan motorcycle member in July of last year at a Dairy Queen. There were bullets flying, there were hammers flying, in the parking lot of this place in Wade, North Carolina, where, there were many families around just right off of I-95. So they all face really a multitude of just violent crime.
You were in the courtroom Monday for William Beasley's appearance, and I feel like that maybe could give us an idea about what's going on the prosecutor side of this. So what kind of evidence did prosecutors have against him?
So they were able to show all of the video from what was going on at that Dairy Queen incident, parking lot video, cell phone video of just violent, enraged acts from these motorcycle members really trying to kill a rival gang member.
The indictment alleges that the Hells Angels have had a long-standing feud with the Pagans Motorcycle Club.
And from what we understand is that the reason that these Hells Angels members were trying to do this is that they have been given orders from, the top guy in this gang, the hierarchy, if you will.
The Hells Angels have issued a standing green light
to kill anyone that is a Pagan Motorcycle Club member, and if they do so, that advances them in the ranks within their motorcycle club.
Failure to comply with that green light order to attack Pagans can result in retaliation, assault, or loss of status within the Hells Angels.
Okay, let's take a quick break right there and we'll be right back. Chelsea, federal prosecutors held a press conference on this case on Wednesday afternoon. Who did we hear from and what did they tell us about this case?
Yeah, so of course we heard from U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District, Michael Easley Jr., as well as, Chief Estella Patterson with Raleigh Police and other members of the DOJ stemming from Washington, D.C. They are all part of what is called this unit that tackles violent crime. It's called VICAR. And the last time, actually, that they've indicted anybody for this type of crime was back in 2017. But basically, this group, makes it illegal to commit violent crimes, including murder and kidnapping, really large enterprise groups where they're trying to get to the root of the violence. They all have the same strong message at the end of the day, is that they are going to come after these gang members, no matter the affiliation, and their goal is to get to the top. They're working as hard as they can to dismantle these clubs because they incite violence in communities.
Right. And do we have any sense of why there's such a strict rivalry between these groups?
I think that goes back decades from when these were formed so many years ago. That's something that they didn't quite talk about. This is all just when you have an indictment or just charges, they're not able to talk very much about the details. They haven't aired their case out in federal court. So, since they're just charged and indicted and not convicted, we don't have all of the details surrounding, what may have led to these fights. We know the motive to get ahead in their own gangs, but we don't know, what the motive for the fight was.
Right. And as you said, we're going to probably continue to learn more about this as this continues to play out in court. So what are the next steps?
Yeah, so they'll set a federal court date, and then the attorneys will go to trial and kind of lay out their case. And, if these men are convicted, they can face anywhere from a mandatory 10-year federal prison sentence to mandatory life in prison, for their role in the murder of Jonas Padilla. So that all remains to be seen as the court process starts to sort of just tick on.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea, and thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email with triangled news, events, and headlines to help you get ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.